Bill of Rights is a document some 200 plus years old. We want to make it a reality, infuse it with life for all Tennesseans.
I have seen the ACLU truly respect our community and value the decisions we make for ourselves.
The ACLU never turned their backs on me. They were persistent and very vigilant.
I really love and appreciate the work of the ACLU, and together we're helping to guide children away from prison.
The ACLU has so much credibility and legitimacy. It's a real beacon of freedoms that we enjoy.
The landmark Scopes monkey trial in the mid-1920s was Tennessee's first encounter with the fledgling American Civil Liberties Union. ACLU cooperating attorney Clarence Darrow defended teacher John Scopes in a challenge to a controversial state law banning the teaching of evolution. The trial made many Americans aware of the ACLU for the first time. In April 1968, Dr. Martin Luther King came to Memphis to support striking sanitation workers. This historic telegram documents the ACLU securing representation for Dr. King's efforts after the city denied him the right to stage a march. ACLU cooperating attorney Mike Cody was in court on behalf of Dr. King when they received word that he had been assassinated. That same year, 1968, the Tennessee affiliate of the ACLU was born. Before long, Tennessee's only group defending the Constitution and the Bill of Rights took on the issues of the time. Over the years, the ACLU successfully challenged police spying on citizens engaged in protected political speech, established that the state constitution protects a woman's right to privacy when it comes to abortion, spearheaded a campaign against racial profiling, challenged viewpoint discrimination, which ended the censorship of LGBT websites in public schools, and for the first time ever, got sexual orientation added as a protected category under state laws. The ACLU of Tennessee became a force to contend with during those formative years, not just responding to crises, but strategically and creatively working to expand rights. It did so through advocacy, public education, coalition building, litigation, and legislative lobbying. The ACLU of Tennessee is an affiliate of the National American Civil Liberties Union, which had its beginnings in 1920. Today, it has more than 500,000 supporters nationally, with affiliates in all 50 states. Since its inception, the ACLU of Tennessee has persistently defended free speech and freedom of the press, from the Klan to the LGBT community to Occupy protesters. The ACLU protects everyone's freedom of speech, remaining true to the belief that the right to express ourselves is not only a constitutional guarantee, it is essential to democracy for everyone.
ACLU doesn't pick and choose clients. Our client is the Bill of Rights. When we are protecting freedom of speech and expression, we are protecting freedom of speech and expression for all individuals. What that means is when the ACLU represents the LGBT community and their right to march down a public street, the ACLU also represents the Klan and their right to march down a public street.
The Gay Straight Alliance Club asked me to hang a poster in my classroom. The poster stated this is a safe space for gay and lesbian students and their allies, and the school system ordered the poster to be removed because it contained the words lesbian, gay, bisexual, and transgender. The ACLU sent a letter of demand that the poster be reinstated. The school system realized they could not single out LGBT students and agreed that all posters could be hung in the hallways. We had community support during this whole ordeal. It's important to me that everyone have a voice. If the ACLU had not been present in this case, I don't think that we ever would have been able to move forward. The students never were alone in their seeking of justice.
Our world changed forever with the attacks of 9/11. New laws undermined the rights of individuals to privacy and religious freedom. As time went on, government increased the use of technology to monitor people. Here in Tennessee, our ACLU affiliate led the fight against these laws and successfully lobbied for the passage of the Freedom from Unwarranted Surveillance Act in our state. The act restricts the warrantless use of drones by law enforcement, except in special cases.
You see with electronic surveillance that there is a recognition that our government, in fact, is doing even more surveillance, collecting data of innocent individuals where there was no probable cause, no warrants issued. In Tennessee, we worked with legislators on both sides of the aisles, Democrats, Republicans, members of the Tea Party, partnering with the ACLU to ensure that government surveillance does not stay rampant in this state.
Our criminal justice system should keep our communities safe and treat people fairly. Too often, people are targeted based on race, ethnicity, and economic status. The ACLU of Tennessee is working to reduce mass incarceration by dismantling the school-to-prison pipeline and reducing harsh sentencing laws that often discriminate.
I was a Nashville public school teacher for 7 years. During that time, children were struggling, being expelled, and even killed. I really wanted to start an organization that focused specifically on school-to-prison pipeline issues, but it was also really from school to the grave because I'm losing students as well. The ACLU of Tennessee was one of our earliest supporters and strategic partners to figure out together what is the best thing that we could do for our children. To know that there is an organization that is committed to fighting for their civil liberties, I really, really love and appreciate the work of the ACLU and the support that we've gotten focusing on dismantling the school-to-prison pipeline.
The U.S. Constitution promises equal treatment and protection to all people, regardless of race, ethnicity, or immigration status. The ACLU's commitment to the fair treatment of immigrants led to challenging law enforcement programs that encourage racial profiling and often lead to unfair detention. The ACLU's online resource center provides comprehensive Know Your Rights information for immigrants. And in one of Nashville's proudest moments, the ACLU partnered with the Chamber of Commerce, faith leaders, and immigrant advocates to defeat an English-only ballot initiative. The ACLU of Tennessee continues fighting battles like this one to make human rights a reality for immigrants. Religious freedom means two things. First, it means government cannot endorse or sponsor religious activities in public schools or public settings. And second, it means government cannot prohibit people from practicing their religious beliefs or discriminate against people who don't practice a religion. Here in Tennessee, the ACLU is the primary organization defending religious liberty.
Religious freedom is a right for everyone. Yet a bill in the Tennessee General Assembly effectively profiled Muslims as terrorists. The ACLU of Tennessee partnered with us to mobilize the opposition against this bill. The final version of the bill, after it was amended numerous times, does not criminalize Muslims for practicing their faith. When you enter a coalition and a partnership with the ACLU, you have this peace of mind knowing that they're not going to impose their agenda on you. Together, we have effectively challenged misconceptions about Muslims and Islam in Tennessee. It was through the broad coalitions with the ACLU and others that we were able to achieve this successfully.
Voting is a fundamental right that is the cornerstone of our democracy, and the ACLU of Tennessee is committed to ensuring that every citizen has the right to vote. This means working against voter suppression laws, particularly those laws that deny former felons the right to vote. The ACLU's Right to Vote campaign seeks to restore voting rights to former felons, and this is a vital part of the ACLU's ongoing commitment to protect the rights of all people and engage everyone in our democracy. Equality for lesbian, gay, bisexual, and transgender persons is an important issue for the ACLU of Tennessee. The ACLU represented LGBT parents who were denied visitation rights with their children, and represented LGBT teenagers who were bullied in their public schools. The ACLU also worked with allies to defeat the Don't Say Gay bill and other legislation that would have discriminated against the LGBT community.
It's funny to me that the ACLU is often billed as a radical organization or way out on the left when what they're really doing is fighting for these freedoms for all of us. These issues are not liberal, conservative. These are issues that all Americans and all attorneys should be actively fighting for and actively advocating on behalf of others for. The greatest strength that the ACLU of Tennessee brings is every day they're in the trenches, and that gives me great comfort.
The American Civil Liberties Union of Tennessee is dedicated to protecting and advancing the guarantees in the Bill of Rights. This translates to an ongoing commitment to free speech, religious freedom, reproductive justice, and LGBT equality. It means that the fight for criminal justice reform, voting rights, privacy rights, and racial justice is far from over. It means ensuring that there is a next generation of civil libertarians who embrace the promises of the Bill of Rights. The ACLU's role is to be a principled visionary, not just to respond to crisis, but also to be a social justice change agent. The ACLU of Tennessee is building on the past and creating a future that promotes equal treatment and justice for everyone.
Folks often forget those last few words, equality and justice for all. And ACLU makes that a reality. We translate the promises, the guarantees of the Bill of Rights into reality every day for all Tennesseans.